ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to a special Mother's Day edition of the Molar Bear. Today, we have a remarkable guest joining with us, Dr. Anju ma'am, the CEO, the Chesa Group. Welcome to the show, ma'am. How are you?
Thank you so much for inviting me for this talk. I'm good. How are you?
I'm fine, ma'am. To kick off our conversation, I'd like to start with a quote about a significance of mother. A mother is she who can take place of all others, but whose place no one else can take. Well, ma'am, let's dive in. And can you share with us how the concept of motherhood has influenced your journey, both personally and professionally?
Yes, of course. A very interesting question. I think motherhood is a very, very broad word because when you become a mother, you are becoming a mother for the first time, and you are not trained on how a mother should be. The only thing you carry with yourself is your experience of being a child to your mother. So, having said that, I think being a mother is one of the most blessed situation that any woman could be in, and it is a most precious thought to one's heart.
Wow.
Staying with me, I was blessed with a daughter first. That was about 2 years after marriage, and then a son 4 years after my daughter was born.
Oh.
So, motherhood is a very broad word, I would say. It involves so many emotions, so many expressions, right from being kind, loving, stern, angry, strict, being a friend, being a guide, being a a motherly figure, a fatherly figure. Because very often, there is a joke when a child reaches out to the father. The only question he asks his father is, "Where is mom?" And then the rest of all of it is given to the mom, and the mom has to make sure that she is batting and defending and answering every question that comes across to her from the child. So it's a very, very holistic and a very satisfying responsibility. And at the same time, it's, I think, one of the most critical position in one's life, because a mother is responsible for an end-to-end grooming of the baby, of the child, of a human being who comes to this earth and who is then contributing so much to the society. So that's the role, I think, a motherhood. That's what motherhood means to me, and I feel that that's a tremendous, a very, very powerful word and a tremendous responsibility that comes with this position.
Wow, ma'am. Thank you for sharing that heartfelt reflection, ma'am. Now, transitioning to your professional journey, ma'am, could you please tell us what initially drew you to the field of dentistry? Matlab, any specific moment, experience, or how did you land into dentistry?
Well, I belong to the era when medical and engineering were two, not, I would not say most sought after, but I would say the only options that parents would think of for their children. And if it was not medicine that you could manage with your scores, it would be dentistry by default, because just zero point 0.5 or a 1 mark less than you end up in dentistry or pharmacy. So of course, it was my father's wish that his children either be doctors or engineers, and my sister is a medical practitioner. And I got into dentistry, and that's how I'm there. But of course, if I had my wish, I would have probably been an architect, because I'm personally a very creative person, and I love to play with creativity. So dentistry, of course, is another form of creativity, because you definitely need a lot of talent in your art, your sense of vision, or your sense of creativity into the oral cavity, your sense of color, your sense of shape. And of course, it hones these qualities in one when you are practicing dentistry. Of course, throughout the college, it was a nice journey. I'm a graduate from Government Dental College, Mumbai.
Yeah.
We did our 4+1. We did our internship there. And I think I enjoyed every year of my dental education. It was a lot of fun. You are treated, next to God because you're a doctor, and it's very nice to bring about, relief to a patient. You are actually you see a lot of smiles when you deliver good treatment to the patients. So that I feel is very satisfying. And of course, my life had a big twist when we moved from dental practice into dental business. And that's another long story. But I think even in the dental business or the space of dental distributorship or a dental business as a manufacturer, we've contributed substantially to improve the standards of dentistry in the market. And it changed me personally from a medical practitioner to more of an engineer and an entrepreneur,
Yeah.
wherein I learned how to build the dental chair, working with my mechanics and engineers on the floor, to managing manpower, to managing labor, to learning how finances are handled, and to learn how sales and service and relationships are built. So a very, very holistic learning in all walks of life for me, for sure.
Wow. Ma'am, is there any some magic in GDC Mumbai that all the pioneers of dentistry come from that college? I mean, pick up any famous name, either it be Dr. Sandesh Maikar sir, either it be Dr. Ajit
Yes,
Dhankar sir. Matlab, all the pioneers, mostly all the pioneers
yes.
come from GDC Mumbai. So what is the secret? What special they teach in GDC Mumbai, ma'am?
So I would say that, see, during our times, there were hardly any private medical or dental schools, and it was actually not very easy to get into the government institute. So it was quite a grind, and you had to be a studious person. You had to have your scores in place, and I remember my own batch. We have people like Ratnadeep Patil and Dr. Sharad Shetty, Dr. Asha Iyengar, Dr. Paresh Kale, and then, our seniors like Dr. Sandesh, Dr. Dhoble. And the list is endless. And it is very heartwarming to see that each one has very unique qualities, and they have brought to this industry a lot of improvement, a lot of endeavor in their own field. And I think that's primarily because we've gone through the grind of, getting into the institute, to growing up from very small positions of our life, and from understanding the subject, wanting to achieve, wanting to create an identity for ourselves. So I think that's a lot of value for our education that we came up with through this GDC college, GDC Mumbai.
Wow, ma'am. Fascinating insights, ma'am. Now, from your short yet successful career in dentistry, your venture to entrepreneurship by founding Chesa Group, what inspired this transition from practicing dentistry into establishing your own dental company? Matlab, one of its types in India, I guess. You guys are the first company in indigenously, I guess. So what came into your mind and how things went? Actually, we want to know the whole story behind your entrepreneurship.
So I met my husband in GDC Mumbai, and uh, it was a lot to do with his vision. And he has always been a visionary about doing something beyond what is routine and regular. So we did start our life with dental practice, and we were into dental practice for almost. I was into dental practice for 2 years after marriage, and he was into dental practice for almost about 6 years after his graduation. But he definitely knew very for sure that he wanted to do something beyond just practice. And so, when you have that vision and when you have the drive to do something more, God finds the way and God gives you the opportunity to grab and to make 2 plus 2 together and, explore your potential. And that's, I think, one thing led to another. It was primarily the thought and the vision of doing something different and making a brand and bringing in something which is better than what was available at that point in time. And I always believed in his dream. I always believed in his thoughts, and I found equal pleasure in living up to his visions. We always worked hand in hand together, supported each other, made sure that there was no stone unturned, whether it was relocating ourselves from Mumbai to Bangalore to grow the industry. It was pretty challenging because we had small children. My son was just a month old and daughter was 4 years old when we moved to Bangalore. But we did take the plunge, we did take the decision, and we came here. So I think if anything has to grow, it has to be a lot of effort together and a lot of like-minded thoughts to nurture the thoughts and to convert it into realities. And of course, there is nothing that can move without God's wish, nothing that can happen without what is destined for you. And we were always blessed that whatever we tried to put in our efforts in did get converted to rewards and did grow. We saw growth in our efforts, and that's what kept us moving. So one thing led into another. We started with trading, and we also explored the option of running a dental laboratory in the initial years. But then we felt that getting into a dental chair manufacturing was the need of the hour, because a dental chair is basically the first leg into a dental clinic. And because of that, we wanted to make our own brand. We moved to Bangalore because Bangalore was the hub of manufacturing units. And we knew that since we didn't know the technology, we had to pick up skilled manpower to help us through the journey. So nothing stopped us from relocating. We came here. Within 2 years, we identified the place. We put up our manufacturing unit. It was very interesting to know that the first exhibition we participated in, we had actually bought a second-hand chair from some dental manufacturer, and we painted it up and, redid the whole chair, and we displayed it in the conference, the first conference that we participated in as manufacturers. And that was somewhere in Delhi, and we booked 47 chairs in that event. And we knew, wow, I mean, we can do it. So such opportunities, such victories that came through our journey gave us more and more power, gave us more and more belief that yes, we are meant to do this and we can do it. And that's how it just went on and on.
Wow, ma'am. Wow. Well, ma'am, as you said that coming back to the motherhood. So you just said that when you started this business, your daughter was 4 years old and your son was just one. So how did you juggle between the responsibility of being a mother? I mean, a successful mother. Guys, let me tell you that. Ma'am's daughter, that is Dr. Shelika, she's again a second generation entrepreneur who runs a very first of its kind business, that is V Scans Diagnostic, first dental chain in India. So how did you juggle between them? I know you must be very strict with them because nurturing kids is like something very impossible, I think. So can you share some of the moments? How did you do? What was your routine? How did you manage office? How did you manage your kids?
Yes, it is. It is one of the most challenging tasks. But I must say that for anything to happen, it's again a joint effort. It's the support of your family. It's the support of your spouse. It is the support of your children, who actually let you be and let you do what you want to do. At the same time, they grow, they live in your absence, and they still love you for whatever you're doing. So, for a mother to be a successful mother or a successful entrepreneur, and to have loving children who admire the mother and who are, trying to replicate the life the mother has lived, it's a lot of joint effort and a lot of contribution from everyone. Having said that, yes, it's one of the biggest challenges that one lives through. When you have small children, you have their schools, you have the house to take care, you have the office, and especially if you're running your own business, you have long working hours. So I must add that it was my mother-in-law who really supported us a lot. She moved from Bombay to Bangalore, stayed with us, made sure that she was available for the children whenever we were having long working hours. She took care of them, and she, filled filled up the positions when I would leave at about 8:30 in the morning, and not be back before almost 9 in the night. So it was
Okay.
too long working hours, and the children definitely needed somebody. So yes, it's a parent effort, a father and the mother's effort to make sure that somebody is teaching, somebody is packing their bag, somebody is making sure the hair is cut because the teacher has sent a notice that the child's hair is long. So a lot of things. I remember morning if the kids were late, we had to, somebody is rushing with the bottles, and somebody is rushing with the tiffin, somebody is ironing the clothes. So it's a whole family effort that goes through. But the best part is that, the children also have their space. They observe the parents, because children are actually monkeys, and they absorb a lot from the family more than what they absorb from outside. And the more you show them that effort, work, dedication is required, the better they become, the better they learn. And they see this. And while they miss the mother, while they want the mother to be around, but they also secretly admire and they copy and they want to be like the parent. So I think it's a challenge, but it's a lot of pleasure when you see successful children. My daughter, as you mentioned, Dr. Shalika, is running a chain of diagnostic centers. And my son, who was educated in northeastern Boston for engineering, and then he did his job for 3 years in data science, data analytics. He came back during COVID. He has joined the industry, the manufacturing unit, and he's so passionate about it. Within about a year of joining, he launched a new model called O2, which was very beautifully designed. And he loves to put in the effort to take forward what the parents have built. So I'm very blessed and thankful to God that both my children have absorbed and learned and believed in efforts. And while they did have luxuries in life, but I know that both of them can stand all kinds of pressures of life, and they will still, have their head over their shoulders to face challenges. And that's what I think as a mother, I have taught them.
Wow, ma'am. Bit on a personal side, what was more challenging, raising up a daughter or raising up a son was challenging? I mean, who was more notorious, whom you had to care more?
Uh, so it's very funny. My daughter, of course, is the elder child, but she's, the stronger, the fighter, and bindas kind of a go-getter. And my son, he is the younger child, and he was extremely obedient, extremely silent. He would listen to everything that we would say. During holidays, we used to wake him up at 5 in the morning and take him for cricket. And not once did he ever complain that it's my holiday time, let me sleep. So I think both of them were very different from each other. And bringing them up had their own sets of fun and challenges. I wouldn't say one was more easy and the other was more difficult, but yes, I think bringing them up for both of them, I had different experiences, and both were fun.
Wow, ma'am. Well, thank you for sharing those personal insights, ma'am. As we are celebrating Mother's Day today, what message would you like to convey to all the mothers out there who are juggling multiple responsibilities and juggling between multiple roles? Like what we generally see in dentistry, that people after, especially the girls after the females after her marriage, they start giving off their career. So, what message do you have for them?
Well, I would tell all mothers that motherhood is bliss. Enjoy it. Don't feel guilty if you wish to do something that you like to do. There is nothing like a perfect mother, and there is nothing like an imperfect mother. So whatever you do as a human being, as a mother to a child, you are doing your best. Believe in it. Balanced life. The more you try to be a perfectionist, the more guilt is what you live with. So the best thing is to just go with the flow and let the child see how challenges of life are met with. So if you have to work, go ahead, work. The child is also going to do the same thing because the child is learning from you. But just by, cutting your ambitions of life and just by thinking that you want to be around the child all the time so that the child is brought up in the best possible way may not always be the right decision. So as a mother, I think we should set examples of how life should be led and not feel guilty of what is more and less and not judge our own self. That's what I would like to say.
Well, ma'am, thank you very much. You are a super mom, actually. So it has been an absolute pleasure having you today on the show. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and
Thank you
experience.
so much for giving me this opportunity.
Welcome, ma'am. Pleasure is all ours. Thank you for sharing your wisdom and experience with us today. And once again, happy Mother's Day, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Dr. Ganendra. Thank you very much for giving me this chance.
Welcome, ma'am.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Well, I'm your host, Dr. Ganendra, and as we wrap up this insightful conversation, I encourage our listeners to connect with us on social media and keep an ear out for upcoming episodes of the Molar Bear. Stay engaged, remain instigative, and continue to share wonderful smile with the world. Thank you for joining us today. Bye bye. Good night.